My name is Andy Hess. I'm an evangelist at Epic Games, and that sounds very religious, but in some ways it is. My job, it's a great job. It might be the best job in the game industry because I get to meet with game developers and tell them about really cool technology, which is Unreal Engine. And then I help them to leverage that technology and build great games. That's basically our metric, is how many great games can we get out there with Unreal Engine. And the reason they call it an evangelist is, we don't really, our model is developers can use our software for free, and then when they ship the game, then they pay us a percentage of their gross revenue. So we have to take on faith that the developer is going to do good work and then eventually pay us, and so that's why I call it an evangelist, because you take it on faith, just like an evangelista. There are a lot of very talented game developers in Argentina, and right now they're using a different game engine that's very common, it's very popular, it's very easy to use. We're newer to this market. Unreal, with Epic Games, we have licensed Unreal Engine for very high-end game console type games, AAA games like Borderlands and BioShock, Gears of War, those kinds of games, where we would sell the software for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to big publishers like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and so on. Our new model, where the engine is free, means that it's now a very good option for other markets that don't have as much AAA. Maybe they're focused on mobile, or they're independent developers that don't have the resources to pay millions of dollars for a game engine. So now we have this new opportunity in this country and other countries, and so our challenge is to get in front of developers, tell them about the software, help them understand how to use the software so they can make great games. What impresses me about Argentinian developers is, one, they're very technically savvy. The engineers are well trained, and the artists they have a very fresh, unique kind of artistic design sensibility that we don't see as often in North America or Europe or Asia. It's just a different look. I've seen this with artists throughout South America. And my hope is that you'll start to see games that have that are fresh for that reason become popular in North America and Europe and Asia because they're new. And so that's another thing I'm hoping to see from Argentine game developers. This is my second time. I was at EVA last year just really to check things out and meet people. It was only me. We didn't have the ability to do a large presentation like this. So this year I wanted to come back and actually conduct training. My partner Lewis is a teacher, and he did a great job, I think, showing Unreal to over 200 attendees of EVA. Well, knowledge. Sharing knowledge, and also building communities and networks. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I really am that old. I know I don't look it, but I'm that old. But there's this, the people in Finland discovered this first, the game industry in Finland. They were competitors, because they were all building games and trying to sell games to the same people and compete for that same entertainment money. Yeah. But they found if they cooperated and helped each other, finish projects. I mean, they were so well integrated that when one studio was up against a deadline and in danger of not shipping on time and maybe losing a publishing deal, their friends at the other studio would come over and help them ship a game. And so there's this concept of, cooperation and co-opetition, that Finnish game developers established 20 years ago, and it made them a very, very strong development hub and community, and they're to this day very successful because they have had such a strong community. Today in mobile gaming, for example, the Finnish game developers, particularly in Helsinki, they're huge, absolutely huge, and I could see that happening here. It's always changing, new technology, new platforms. Before I was at Epic, I was at Apple. I was responsible for games on iPhone in the App Store. And we saw the market just explode and then change very rapidly. I mean, these large publishers would scramble to invent new business models to remain competitive in this market space. And every time they found something that worked, and they would invest in it, a couple months later, that plan became obsolete because everything was changing so quickly. So the only thing you can really rely on is change. So you have to be nimble, you have to pay attention, you have to do your research, you have to keep up with trends, you have to keep up with the data. Try and get, market data. What's selling on the platform that you care about? Console is easy, PC, but mobile, what's selling there and how are people making their money in mobile? Is it from the paid download, or is it advertising dollars, or is it in-app purchase? The business aspect of that is critical if you want the money to keep making games. And making games is a lot of fun, but paying your rent is good too. It is a wonderful, Buenos Aires is a beautiful city, it's a fun city. Wow, you guys stay up late, that's fascinating to me. And there's great steak, really fantastic steak. If you're familiar with the United States, the state of Texas, they're very proud of their beef. I think Argentinian beef is better than Texas beef.